Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides to life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP. Change your future, it starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I am an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share this about substance abuse, and I want to be crystal clear with you to leave an everlasting impression. Just imagine being buried alive, laying in that coffin, and then realizing you're not dead. You think about giving up and waiting for death to arrive, but you also think about banging on the coffin, on the lid, to maybe move the heavy dirt that's upon that lid. And then maybe, just maybe, somebody might notice the dirt moving and start digging their way down to you to help you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the worst point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, you just don't know where to reach out for help. But in reality, there are probably people standing right on top by the grave, but you just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind when you were abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe you might overdose? With this, I want to leave you with one other thought. Do not be that person in the coffin laying there, banging on the lid, hoping for somebody to help you. Folks, do not be that person. Reach out to people like myself, Addiction Recovery Coach, Life Coach, at 844-405-HELP. Let me help you take your life back before your life is gone. There are people like myself and Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry from the Geis Academy can also be found on the internet at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. He will help you go from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand, together. He nor I will never, ever ask you about your past, because it really doesn't matter where you came from, folks. What matters is where you are today and where are you going tomorrow. That is what matters, and that is the most important thing. Let me just move this over a little bit. There we go, so you can get to see the background. So that is the most important. So reach out to Larry Geis, 516-458-2741. Let Larry Geis help you take your life back. And do me a favor when you speak to Larry. Let him know that you heard about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show. I want to give a shout out for the people that are having problems focusing in on my video. It is not the quality of this video. It might be the effectiveness of your glasses. Isn't it about time to replace those old glasses with some new glasses? Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com. They will focus on saving you money. They will focus to help you focus better to see my videos. GlobalEyeglasses.com has over 1,200 frames, folks. They have plastic, metal, full frame, half frame, no frame. As far as lenses, they have progressives, transition, photochromatic, polarized, scratch resistant, anti-reflecting coating. They have UV coating. Whatever you find in your local freestanding brick and mortar optical shop in your hometown, you'll find at www.globaleyeglasses.com. And here's the great thing, folks. I have over 30 years experience in the optometry business. So if you reach out to me and text me right now, 631-599-0218, I will make sure to help place your order. And here's even better. Besides getting that brand new pair of glasses at a fraction of the cost of any other place, I'll make sure that I give you a coupon to get free shipping for you. But you need to reach out to me at www.globaleyeglasses.com and let me focus on saving you money. Folks, today's topic, a lot of us in life have stress, which we discussed yesterday, and a lot of us also, let me just adjust my microphone, and a lot of us also have, we have anxiety issues. So I want to discuss 10 ways for you, that's right, you, to cope with anxiety. You've been in bed for an hour now and you still can't get to sleep. Maybe you're thinking about your job or that 401k or health insurance. Perhaps some problem with your kids has your mind spinning late in its late night hamster wheel of worry. Whatever the issue, you can't get out of your head, so you try to solve it in your head. Before you know it, another hour has passed. Now that you start fretting about the fact that you can't go to sleep then you start realizing that you only have a couple more hours, and then you have to get up and you'll be a wreck tomorrow. So you say to yourself, I have to sleep now. Doesn't do the trick though, does it? We've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. But the good news is there's something that you could do to help yourself, something more effective than the usual advice to be positive or just stop thinking so much. The latest research on anxiety suggests a new found even odd technique for coping successful and recurrent worries away. I've seen these work for hundreds of patients, and when I say I, this is the person that wrote this. In fact, this person found that most people can't get a grip on things if they take a few minutes to develop a different relationship with their thoughts and feelings. And this person has given us 10 ways for you to cope with anxiety. Number 1, repeat your worry until you're bored silly. If you've had fear of elevators, you get rid of it if you rode in one 1,000 times, up and down. At first you would be very anxious, and then as time goes on, less so, and then eventually it would be no problem at all to get in that elevator. So take the troublesome thought that's nagging you all hours of the day, especially at night, and start doing something about it. Like when you were riding that elevator, go up and down. It's hard to keep your mind and to worry and to repeat it many times. I call this boredom cure for obvious reasons, but it sure beats feeling overwhelmed by anxiety. So take the troublesome thought that's nagging at you and say it over and over silently, slowly for 20 minutes. It will eventually, it's almost like counting sheep. Number 2. Make it worse. When you try too hard to control your anxieties, you're only heightening them. Instead, agitate them and see what happens. For instance, if you fear that your mind will go blank during the presentation, fake it intentionally in the middle of your next one. Say, gee, That's exactly what I just did purposely. Notice how this makes no difference? It's not that you worry about it, right? I did this at a lecture one time when I was speaking for some people, and no one raised an eyebrow. Perhaps they weren't listening anyway. Number 3, don't fight the craziness. You may occasionally have thoughts that lead you to think that you'll do something terrible. Maybe things like, I'm attracted to him. Does that mean I have to have an affair with him? Or that you're going insane. A client of mine who is an attorney kept imagining herself screaming in court. Remember, our minds are creative. Little snippets are firing away at random, and they are now and then crazy thought jumps out of us and just says, listen, it is time to act crazy. But don't fight the craziness. Everyone has them. Instead of judging yours, describe it to yourself like it's a curious object on the shelf and move on. Number 4, recognize false alarms. That fear of your house burning down because you left the room with the iron on never did come true, did it? It's your body's natural response to always have some sort of alarm in your head. Many thoughts and sensations that we interpret as cues for concern, even panic, are just background noises. Think of each of them as a fire engine going to another place, going right past you. Number 5, turn your anxiety into a movie. You can't let go of worry by disconnecting yourself from it. One way is to imagine that your anxious thoughts are a show. Maybe they're a little guy in a funny little hat doing tap dances and sings out your worry while you sit in the audience eating popcorn and are acting like a calm audience member. Next one, number 6. Oops. Number 6. This microphone is too far away. Set aside worry time. All too often we take a crackberry approach to our worries. They show up unannounced, like constantly dinging emails, and we can't stop everything and address them right there and then, even if we should be doing something else. But what don't you respond to right away? Try setting aside 20 minutes a day, let's say 4:30, just for your worries. If you're fretting at 10 a.m., jot down the reason and resolve to think it through later. By the time 4:30 comes around, many of your troubles won't even matter anymore because they've already self-solved themselves, and you will have spent almost the entire day anxiety-free. Number 7, take your hand off the horn. You constantly check the weather before a big outdoor event, right? You replay the clumsy comment you made, wishing you could take it back. And yes, you honk your horn in traffic. When you desperately try to take command of things that can't be controlled by you, you're like the swimmer who panics and slaps at the water screaming. It gets you nowhere, does it? Instead, imagine that you are floating along the water with your arms spread out, looking up to the sky. It's a paradox, but when you surrender to the moment, you actually feel far more in control than trying to take control. Breathe it out. You may notice that when your body is tense, you hold your breath. Focusing on breathing is a common but effective technique for calming the nerves. Where is your breath now? And where is your mind now? Bring them together and they will meet. Listen to the movement of your breath. Does your mind wander somewhere else? Call it back. Concentrate only on breathing in and out, beginning and ending, breath to breath, moment to moment. Number 9, make peace with time. When you're a worrier, everything can feel like an emergency, but notice this about all your anxious arousals. It's temporary. Every feeling of panic comes to an end. Every concern eventually wears itself out. Every so-called emergency seems to evaporate. Ask yourself, how will I feel about this next week or next month? This one, too, really passes. Last but not least, and sorry about the phone, number 10, don't let your worry stop you from living your life. Many of them will turn out to be false, and the consequences of your anxiety, less sleep, a rapid pulse, and a little bit of embarrassment are just inconveniences when it comes down to it. What can you still do, even if you feel anxious? Almost anything, folks. Almost anything. Let's do a recap on these things. 10 ways to cope with anxieties. Number 1 was to repeat your worry until you're bored silly. If you have a problem going on an elevator, go on it over and over and over. If you are, you have a problem being in a tight, crowded room, go with your friend and mingle within that tight, crowded room. Just repeat your worries until you're bored silly with them. Number 2 was make it worse. When you try too hard to control your anxieties, you heighten them. Relax instead. Just go with the flow. Notice how this makes no difference when you get all hyper and you're worried. Just take a deep breath and relax. Number 3 was don't fight the craziness. You may occasionally have thoughts that lead you to think that you'll do something terrible. Like you might say, I'm attracted to him. Does that mean I'll have an affair? Just because you see somebody that looks nice doesn't mean you're going to have an affair with. But remember, our minds are creative. Little snippets are firing away at random, and every now and then crazy thoughts just come jumping right out of your mind. Number 4 is recognize false alarms. That fear of your house burning down because you left the iron on has never come true, did it? We have a tendency of second-guessing everything we do, and that sometimes is good, but sometimes can be bad. So just recognize the false alarms. Number 5, turn your anxiety into a movie. You can let go worry by disconnecting yourself from it. One way is to imagine that your anxious thoughts are a show. Maybe that there's this little guy in a funny little hat who tap dances and sings out your worry while you sit in the audience eating popcorn as a calm observer. Number 6, set aside worry time. All too often we take a crackberry approach to our worries, and we stop everything to address them, even if we should be doing something else. But if you don't, if you don't respond right away, try setting aside 20 minutes a day. Write down each and every worry that you have, and then at 4:30 or whatever time you designate, 5:30, go over your list of worries. I guarantee by the time you get to 4:30, all those worries you had in the beginning of the day probably just work themselves out anyway. Number 7, take your hand off the horn. Don't go out into traffic honking the horn at each and every little thing. You don't have to constantly check the weather when you want to do an outdoor activity. Just relax, calm, and just breathe in and out. Breathe it out is number 8. You may notice that when your body is tense, you hold your breath. Focusing on breathing is a common but effective technique for calming your nerves. Look at Lamaze for people, for women that give birth, the breathing technique. Where is your breath now and where is your mind? Bring them together. Listen to the movement of your breath. Does your mind wander somewhere else? Number 9, make peace with time. When you're a worrier, everything can feel like an emergency, but notice that this about all your anxious arousal. It's temporary. Every feeling of panic comes to an end. Every concern eventually wears itself out. Every so-called emergency seems to evaporate. Ask yourself, how will you feel about this in a week or in a month? This one, too, will pass. Last but not least is number 10, don't let your worry stop you from living your life. Many of them will turn out to be false anyway of these worries. And the consequences of your anxiety, less sleep, and a rapid pulse, and some embarrassment possibly, are just inconveniences when it comes down to it. What can you still do even if you feel anxious? Almost anything, folks. Let's not be that person in the coffin, alive, banging on the lid, hoping for somebody to reach out. Be the person that says, I am ready to make the changes. Be the person that reaches out to people like Larry Geis or myself. Be the person that we can all help. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Call Larry at 516-458-2741. Let Larry and I help you take your life back. Lead by example, because there are people in your own house, little people, little children, that look at you as their role model, the hero. What kind of role model or hero would you be if you are drinking in front of them, smoking in front of them, using profanity in front of them, physically abusing in front of them? What kind of role model are you? Shame on you if that's what you're doing. You need to lead by example. If you want your kids to be smoke, alcohol, profanity, and physical abuse free, you, my friend, need to lead by example. Remember, sober today promises a better tomorrow. And I am going to tell you this. If you start thinking positive, positive things will happen in your life. I am proof of that. I am so proof of that. Anybody wants to get a hold of me, you can call me at 844-405-HELP. And I will tell you how in 2 years and a few months, my life went from the pits of the worst part of earth to where I am today. And it all started with me saying, I need help. It all started with me saying to myself, I am an alcoholic. It all starts with you admitting you have alcohol issues, drug issues, depression issues, low self-esteem issues, whatever, gambling issues. But it all starts with admitting it to yourself, and then eventually you become transparent like myself, because my misery from the past is your Band-Aid to help you today. That's the bottom line, folks. I hope to God, no matter where you are, you have the best day of your life. But I hope and I always pray for each and every one of you, whether it's in your kitchen that you're in, living room, you might be in a homeless shelter, you might be watching me while incarcerated, you might be at an AA meeting, you might be sitting at school where I know some of my videos are playing. It doesn't matter where you are. Start believing in yourself. Start realizing that you, my friend, are an awesome God's creation, and no matter how bad your past was, no matter where you came from, we are here today, and we are here to start fresh. It takes you and your strong mind that God gave you and the heart to make changes. And when you do, your life will be changing for the better. Reach out to me at 844-405-HELP and let me, Ralf Friedrichs, the addiction recovery coach to life coach, the person that will also help you with the eyeglasses if you need it, let me help you take your life back, and may God bless you.
Yeah, change your future, starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today. The show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life, today's show with Ralf Friedrichs.